Do you like the video games? Do ya like the video games? Video games, video games, yeah!
Today we are going to take a look at one of my favorite board games, which is Space Crusade. And the reason I'm talking about a board game today and not a computer game is because it was also made as a computer game, made for the PC, Atari, Commodore 64 and the Amiga. And the best version is the Amiga version, so we're going to take a look at that. But let's to understand how you play the game, I'm going to show you how the board game works first. It takes place in the Warhammer universe, and you have these 3 chapters of Space Marines who has to board like a spaceship that's full of aliens, and depending on which mission you choose, you have to complete various objectives. Maybe kill a specific enemy or get to a certain point. The 3 chapters are the Ultramarines, which look like this, the blue guys, and you have the Imperial Fist, and you have the Blood Angel Space Marines. Now, each chapter are they have the same access to the same weapons, but they have some items which you choose at the start of the game, which are a little bit different. And the Ultramarines are pretty balanced. The Imperial Fist are a little better at shooting, and the Blood Angels are a little better at hand-to-hand combat. Now, yeah. So these are the item cards. You have all kinds of items, and they have various. And each player chooses some item cards at the beginning of each game, and they also choose some orders, which gives them maybe a bonus chance to move during their round and stuff like that. Items and orders can only be used once, so you have to use them sparingly. Before each game, each player starts on one of these, which is like a landing bay. They start out on these, and well, in case of the computer game, it's the computer who sets up, but in the board game you also need an alien player, so you have to be at least 2 players to set up these, which are like dots on a radar, like you see in Aliens and stuff, and that marks where the enemies are. And when it's my turn, when it's the alien player turn, I can move them around a set number of places. And basically find and attack the player. Whenever someone comes into view, we have over here. Whenever we say I move this into view, move this down here into view, then this guy should be able to see him. I have to turn it around, and as you can see here, this small guy here is a Gretchen, and the number next to him is the number of points it gives. So I find a Gretchen and place right here. Now I should say I painted these myself when I was like 10 or something, and it looked like shit. So this is just a fair warning. So even though it's a bit blurry, you're not really missing anything because they look like shit anyway. So yeah, so I place this guy here. Yes, and if each I have a chance to shoot at each of the players, and they have a chance to shoot at me. And these are all the characters have various weapons. They have special heavy weapons equipped, which you can choose before the fight. You want to exchange to other weaponry like normal bolt guns. This is a heavy bolter. You have a rocket launcher, and you have a plasma rifle. And these heavy weapons work differently from the normal bolters. They have special rules, like you can attack more number of fields each time you shoot with them. And as I mentioned before, the Imperial Fists are a little bit better at shooting, so they get to remove some penalties from moving around with heavy weaponry. Now, yeah, that's the basic rules of it. Before each turn, the enemy player draws a card, and these cards can be all sort of thing like here where the player gets this card and he's able to open and close all these doors at will. One other card, which is like battle plan, where he gets to choose another order card, or there's some bad cards as well. One of them here is a Gretchen who throws a grenade at someone, and if he is really lucky, he's able to take out a whole field of Marines. That's another thing. This even though you're able to gear up your Marines and you can move forward, you can move forward tactically. It's still a board game, which means it's unfair as hell. I mean, if your Marines are clustered too close together, chances are maybe I have a turn, I draw a bomb card, and I'm able to wipe out almost half the team if I get a lucky roll in the dice. I have to like roll 3 or more with these special dice, and yeah, I guess that's what sort of makes it fun. Another thing is that when you get points for completing objectives in the game, you get points for killing enemies, and you get points for going to certain places. You're also able to kill each other as the players in the game. You don't have to cooperate with other Marines, but if you don't cooperate, there's a good chance that aliens will eventually overwhelm you. So you have to be on the toes and cooperate as much as possible until you see, I have a chance to win the game here, so I better shoot some of the enemy Marines. Good chances though that as humans are, the other player will most likely try and do everything in their will to attack you in the next round. See, there's various rounds in the game. You earn points, as I mentioned before, for killing stuff, and you can use these points to progress in rank. You have like a point score thing here, and when you progress in rank, you'll be able to choose more items and more order cards, and yeah, that's pretty good, because you, as I mentioned before, you're going to need all the equipment you're going to get. The alien player will also progress in rank, and he has, instead of item cards, he has reinforcement cards, which are these, which are enemies that I can place at will, as markers as well, anywhere in the game. The various enemies, there's like I mentioned before, there's Gretchens, as we know, because it's not a particular race, so it's all mixed up. You have Gretchens and Orcs. This is a badly painted Orc, and you have this guy here, the Dreadnought. If you see this guy, you're pretty fucked, because unlike with other enemies, he has hit points. He has 3 hit points that you have to get down, and he also has 3 weapons. Each time you lose a hit point, you remove a weapon. Those are heavy weapons. That's like you have 2 normal bolters, and you have a rocket launcher, and you have a heavy bolter. There's also, as you can see over here, Chaos Marines, and there's also Gene Stealers and these guys who are called the Necron now, but back then they weren't really a race, so they are just called robots, androids, I think. They're really badass. So yeah, that's the basic rule of the game. If you are 4 players, you can spend a good evening completing objectives, shooting enemies, and backstabbing each other, and that's basically all the part of the game. These tiles here, you can turn and move around, so you can change the look of the battlefield completely. They show in the manual. They show which way you have to turn the tiles in order to set up the battlefield. So that's how the game plays. As I said, it is a board game, so it is unfair, but it's a very good game. It's also abandonware now, so you should be able to find it for free by looking it up on the internet.